Amar, good to have you here. And it kind of, the point in my life where we started interacting, I was rather circumspect, just walked into a B school. And I remember our interactions even back then and how it kind of was helpful to me even back then in the sense of how I should be looking at interactions with other industry folks. And here we are again after a good 5 years, where we'll try and capture what you do, how you have reached here, and how that could benefit the larger maritime audience.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to hello, Shankar. Hello again. And definitely, 5 years down the line, both of us have gained a lot of experience, and let's see where we go today.
And some weight.
And
So, uh, I mean, if I take the larger context of maritime law, and if you can maybe just help the listeners with your exact title right now, your professional title.
yeah, so my professional title is a marine manager. I work with a city law firm in London. Uh, the the reason they gave me this title was that when I joined the law firm, I was already experienced in the industry. I was a lateral transfer from a consultancy firm. So I remember during our discussions, I was said that we are giving you this title to give respect to that experience and knowledge that you bring rather than a fresh master mariner. But
Okay.
in terms of a day-to-day work, or if you look at comparable profiles, if you find someone who says, I'm a master mariner in a law firm, that is what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so master mariner in law firm. I mean, in the sense, shipping obviously has its own myriad laws, and I'm sure your sailing experience comes into being. But say when a master who's sailing right now listens to this conversation, what do you think he should be aware of about what you do on a day-to-day basis?
To be frank, I face this question every time I go on board ships after incidents. Because there is a master there and there is a
Mm,
master here. I've
mm.
gone to talk to them, and that master has a certain way of thinking. I've got a different way of thinking. तो जो सेलिंग मास्टर है उसको माय कमेंट वुड बी कि आपने आज तक जो भी सीखा है फ्रॉम जीरो टू हीरो कैडेट टू कैप्टन जो भी नॉलेज आप स्किप कर गए एग्जाम्स वगैरह में आपने उसका क्वेश्चन नहीं आया यू आर वेरी हैप्पी इन योर अचीवमेंट और एएसएम वो सारी नॉलेज आपके इट हैज़ टू बी एट द फोर फ्रंट ऑफ योर माइंड बिकॉज when I go and talk to a crew member or when I go and review or when I review papers on my desk तो मुझे ये नहीं पता होता कि where will this case take me what part of my knowledge do I have to dig into. It can be nautical, it can be engineering, it can be simple high school education, it can be geography, meteorology, and bringing in that knowledge from my experience and tying it up to the well-established principles of law. So that is what I do, and you can't do that till you have got a very good grasp of all these things and how they interact with each other. They never work in isolation.
Okay, would it be possible for you to maybe give us a sneak peek into a minor case that had come to your table anytime which you think would kind of elicit interest in this field for the
So I'll
audience?
I'll just look at your I'll talk from what a chief mate and a master does on during their studies. So आपके in your phase one, phase two, and ASM, so you study maritime law, you study Hague Visby rules, you study a bit of general average, very broad brush. As a master, you learn about collisions, you learn what log entries to do in a collision. So when an incident occurs, let us say two ships collide or one ship goes and runs aground and there is damage to cargo, owner declares general average. There is a dispute on the charter party because the vessel was hired on a time charter by a charterer. The vessel was further given out on a voyage charter to the shipper who paid the freight or where paid freight is due. and then there's cargo on board, and the causation is, let us say, it could be navigation, it could be machinery, it could be something external to the vessel. So suddenly you realize that you are not in an isolated single thread. You're sitting in the middle of a cobweb with everything's emanating from the center, the incident, but it goes in different directions depending on what are you looking at. So if you're looking at a charter party up the chain, say you are appointed by the charterer, then you've got a time charter dispute as well. Normally that's clear cut, whose problem it is for navigation. Down the line, the same person is in a limbo. He has agreed to transfer the cargo. Uh, on board the vessel, the owner, they would wish to declare general average. They want to take contribution from others to say, look, there's a common maritime adventure. It's a it's a justified peril, and we will
Hmm.
incur expenses for the benefit of everybody, to complete
Okay.
the adventure. So suddenly everything comes together, and ये जो चीजें हैं ये we have always studied in isolation. हमने कभी भी uh, because it's not possible to teach like that. But once you
Okay.
mature, धीरे धीरे you start putting the jigsaw together. You bring your knowledge, you bring your experiences together, and then you realize, अच्छा, ये इतना बड़ा होने वाला है. And then when you go on board, you realize, I don't have to focus only on this thing. I have to also think about things that may
10
occur
other
down the line.
aspects.
So this is what I do, and this is what I would tell a master कि भाई आप
Okay.
हाँ आप आपको पता है, but you have not built the jigsaw.
All right. Okay. Say for anybody who's looking to just break into this stream of maritime, what do you think are specific qualification or a bare minimum qualification that is mandatory for them to have a chance to sit at the table?
हाँ, तो ये क्वेश्चन ना मुझे बहुत बार लोगों ने पूछा है, और सी एंड बियॉन्ड में भी, वी डिड अ लॉट ऑफ वेबिनार सीरीज ड्यूरिंग कोविड. So I have answered them there, but briefly I would say my personal view is that you need to have command, that is preferred. Minimum, I would say master COC. There are some chief mates with master COC who move ashore. थोड़ा सा experience issue हो जाता है. Because still you have yourself not commanded a vessel, you have not yourself faced incident on board. You cannot feel, or you cannot step into the other person's shoes and feel what he is feeling or what he had felt. And therefore your questions and your digging
Line of
changes.
thought.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. All of that changes. So basic nautical knowledge तो चाहिए, but at what time to leave, my suggestion is master plus command.
Okay.
Before I go ahead, I would say, people say कि आजकल promotion late होती है. I would say नहीं. For promotion दो ही criteria हैं, sea time and next COC. So if you do 6 on 6 off, आपकी promotion late है. If you do 6 7 months on, 2 3 months off, and you carry that on, you get command quickly. The reason for this is कि it feeds into your marketability, your energy, and your potential for earnings down the line. So
Okay.
let us
Okay.
say by about 30 35, there is a master, or there's a master with decent experience. So he's now trying to get into maritime law. Uh, Now, if you are in India may, I cannot pinpoint, but I've been told that there are rules that a law firm cannot employ non-LLB graduates. और इंडिया में
Okay.
पहले LLB was possible by distance learning, वो it was shut down. तो अभी वो full time कॉलेज में है. So
Okay.
इंडिया से जाओगे, you need LLB. My route was slightly different. I came to UK. I did a LLM. I
Okay.
did a master's in maritime law. Then I gradually moved into providing services to P&I firms, P&I clubs and law firms. Uh, and from there, I moved laterally into a law firm.
Okay. Okay. So it was LLM, then a PNI club, and then into law firms.
No, not a P&I club, a consultancy for a P&I club. Basically,
Acha.
we were subject matter experts.
Okay, okay, all right. And
So, हाँ जी,
I mean, the question that we began from was what should be the bare minimum qualification for
correct.
somebody to,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
I'm coming to that. So now in UK, to become a solicitor, you need to pass an exam which is called SQE. Uh, there are two components. There are two exams in it, SQE 1 and 2, and there is an apprenticeship period called QWE. The QWE period is 2 years, which needs to be done in a law firm or matters related to a legal advice. Whereas SQE 1 and 2 are theoretical papers, where you can even appear from India. So all
Oh,
of
okay,
these together, they help you to start your career as a as a maritime lawyer in UK.
okay.
That is why, I just to round up, I would say age, and you do have certain time between passing chief mate and getting command. So in that period, if you can do some more studies, then it is achievable to do that. If not, if you do it linearly, it takes a lot of time, and बाद में by the time you qualify, आप सोचोगे यार मैं पार्टनर कब बनूंगा, मैं आगे मेरी लाइफ टाइम हैप्पीनेस नहीं होएगी. So you know, there are
We
some
there at
things in
the.
life we can't control, and there are some things we can. But if you play
Mhm.
it right, or if you try to do so, if you understand it, you can definitely do good in this field.
Okay. Uh, you began almost, you almost ended by saying that this could be a good starting point once you have done all of this. So the next question is, you've seen a lot of people coming into this profession, but what kind of people, like the individual as a person, as a personality trait, have you felt or found that, having this really kind of helps in to grow in this profession fast, or even be successful and happy?
I think वो जो traits हैं वो they are common in all professions. तो
Okay.
बेसिक तो है कि आपको इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए.
Okay.
आपको you should be looking for knowledge. You should be looking to learn. There is so much to learn कि if you fixate only on the matter given to you, आपको you don't learn about anything else, and then gradually you are called only when that particular thing, uh, or that a matter of that particular type
Mm-hmm.
kicks in. Whereas what you want to do is you want to broaden your horizons. You want to catch up on things you don't know yet, or they exist within the maritime law field, but you have not been given an experience in. So when you're sitting in the office, when there are two people discussing that matter, um, uh, they are definitely discussing something which is not there in the books, or they are discussing um, um, a particular legal tact to take, and the reasons for that particular matter कि भाई इसमें टेक्स्ट बुक अप्रोच क्यों नहीं चल सकती. तो all these things help. अच्छा, ये जो है दिस इज ओनली थ्योरी. देन कम्स अ टाइम व्हेन यू गो टू अ ट्राइब्यूनल, अगर आर्बिट्रेशन है, और यू गो टू द कोर्ट. So on that side, court procedure rules also matter. You have to not only know them, you have to also know how they are interpreted by the court and how they are applied by the court. What are the pitfalls, what you have to keep on, what you have to be wary of कि भाई आपने वो गलती कर दी तो दूसरी साइड आपको प्रोसीजर रूल पे कर देगी. You'll be in a fix. Or conversely, if generally it is respectful, both sides are respectful for each other. कोई minor delay है, कुछ है, it is life. तो that is very well respected. But if someone is not playing proper, then you have to know the court rules as well. Because at the end of the day, you are working for the client. You're
Mm-hmm.
not so client के लिए you are doing the best, and if someone has not studied the procedural rules, so that's their
Uh,
fault.
Shortfall, yeah.
तो all
Okay.
these things come together कि भाई आपको जिज्ञासु रहना है, सीखते
Mm-hmm.
रखना है. It's not 9 to 5. अभी 5 बज गए मैं
Mm-hmm.
नहीं सकता नहीं.
Okay. And how is this? I mean, how would how is this different in, say, in India and compared to, say, in UK where you are based out of? the same role if somebody were to be practicing that in India and somewhere to were to do like in UK? How would it vary?
I have met people who are master mariners and who have done their LLB in India and now they are practicing in India. तो उनका चैलेंज सेम मास्टर मैरिनर अपना दे हैव अचीव्ड while sailing and then they have gone back to probably being a fresh high school graduate graduate from high school joined into LLB clear किया. I believe there's a bar council का एक एग्जाम है, it's a multiple choice exam, it's called so they would have passed that too to be licensed to apply, licensed to practice in India. उसके बाद they would have worked with someone or started their own law firm. अगर अपनी भी law firm खुली है then both places, India, UK, anywhere, you need to have relationships in the market for work to come. वर्क आपको बढ़ा के काम कभी नहीं आएगा, आपको हमेशा एक छोटा सा और it will start small
Start
and
small.
gradually you will when the clients are happy they will start giving you more work. तो ये challenges are common everywhere, whether in India or UK.
Anything peculiar to if a person were to only be in India and practice this profession?
I can't think of any. I would say
Okay,
both markets are different. Both
okay.
markets are very different.
Can you elaborate on that aspect, the difference in the UK market and the Indian market?
Acha, there is a reason actually why English law is present in all shipping contracts. और बहुत बार क्या होता है कि एक इंसिडेंट कहीं और हुआ है, फॉर एग्जांपल collision, but the parties agree कि this will be dealt with as per English law. And once they
Okay,
make that agreement, then it falls into the English law jurisdiction, even though physically the incident occurred outside of UK waters.
UK waters. Okay.
तो उसका ये रीजन है कि प्रोसीजर्स हेयर आर करेक्ट. यहाँ पे आपको केस फ्रॉम स्टार्ट टू फिनिश बहुत जल्दी हो जाता है. देयर वाज अ वेरी फेमस केस CMA CGM Libra. आई हैड गिवन अ प्रेजेंटेशन इन गुजरात मैरीटाइम यूनिवर्सिटी, तो वहाँ पे आई हाईलाइटेड कि फ्रॉम इंसिडेंट टू हाई कोर्ट, कोर्ट ऑफ अपील एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट एंड फाइनल डिसीजन, everything was over in 10 years. This is not possible in other jurisdictions, and probably because either the judiciary is overworked or of the procedural rules. For example, in UK, you can't apply for appeal on your own and बोलो कि भाई मैं इस पे stay ले आऊँ. नहीं, you go to the court and say, look, I would want to appeal. मुझे give me permission to appeal. Or you go to the higher court and say, the lower court has not given me permission to appeal. Please review the decision. So you get one of these two, and only then does it go up. So this is the advantage of the UK system. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
so whereas there are some issues which would be peculiar to India, let us say a issue between a port and a vessel or on the coast of India, they would not want to take it outside Indian law. They would want to
Hmm.
litigate in India. So वो फिर all that work remains in in India. So all I would
Okay.
say is कि those are jurisdictional advantages or and constraints. I would not say कि restrictions है or one jurisdiction is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
This is my view after being in this profession for 10 years. So, it has
Okay.
changed, but this is my view. You can't say that one is better or the not. It is what it is.
Did you ever dream when you were sailing like a third officer or a second officer that one day you would be here?
No.
And
Actually, sorry.
yeah,
I
please
was
go ahead.
talking to someone and I was asked the very same question a few days ago, and I said no. I said I had no idea. I just followed what where knowledge took me, where my interests took me, and today I am here.
And how was that, say, first day or first day at work as a lawyer? How was it, if you remember anything? Even not the first day, maybe the first few days, that phase in life. How was it?
So I would like to correct. I'm not a lawyer yet. As I explained that SQE process, I'm halfway through. My qualifying
Okay.
experience is done. Certain exams are remaining.
Okay.
So I am still a master mariner in a law
Okay.
firm.
Acha,
But,
okay, okay,
but when I joined the law firm, the number of cases that came to me increased because being in-house, any partner who had a technical doubt would come and talk, and he would say,
okay.
"These are the facts. What's your view?" So
Mm-hmm.
I would start responding quickly. I would just review it, give an answer. Uh, a few months down the line, I learned that in if I respond quickly without looking at everything, even what is not presented to me, if I don't ask follow-on questions, then the advice that I gave may not be correct. So then, in few months down the line, I started realizing no, I need to ask for more information कि ये है या नहीं है, or to highlight कि please check for this. अगर ये है, then this answer might change. हमारे आज based on the information you have given me, आज ये answer है. So yes, so शुरू में
That's a interesting point in the sense you kind of had to unlearn what you knew. Like your
yes,
instincts would say कि अच्छा ये problem है तो this is the reason, but then okay, okay, all right.
उसका
And
रीजन है, सॉरी, उसका
sorry, please.
रीजन है कि all mariners came from a professional background. We are guided, we have got a very straight hierarchy. नीचे कैडेट, ऊपर कैप्टन, बीच में लीनियर 1:1, whether engine side or deck side. And Udar, you do the job and that's it. You maintain the checklist, you maintain the record log, you consume a spare, आपने you've done it and you're finished with it. Whereas here, as I said, litigation is a spider web. आपको ये नहीं पता ये चीज कहाँ से कहाँ रिवर्बरेट होके चले जाती है. तो you need full information to advise your clients. If not, there is a procedure in which you can ask the other side कि भाई please disclose these documents, these additional documents to me. Then we will do that before we come back and say, Hanji, this is what happened. Yeah, this is, or our view has changed, our advice has changed. So you are right. I had to unlearn, but the reason is I came from operational where
Mm-hmm.
you made a decision and you followed it through. Whereas in litigation, you are dependent on facts and other information. And if you don't have that, then your advice may not be proper, and therefore you want all that information.
Ah, awesome. Um, when did you actually kind of, execute it through that itch to quit sea life and maybe look at other opportunities? How was that phase for you? What were the triggers? What were the facilitators?
I would say इसमें all three things came along, professional work, my own inquisitiveness, and also family, my phase in life. So coming to profession, I got my COC in, I think, 2008, master's COC in 2008. I got command in 2009. I had ample time as chief officer. So by about 2011 or 2012, so far I had only sailed with managers. I said, यार अभी यहाँ पे बहुत हो गया. Let's look at owners. So I moved for 2 years to with owners. वहाँ पे I could see कि उनकी thinking is different, but day-to-day shipboard operation is same. So this is on the professional side. I forgot to mention market में भी changes हो रहे थे. It's a fact कि आपको एटलीस्ट ऑन द डेक साइड आपको कोई भी चारों ऑफिसर्स गुड नहीं मिलेंगे. दे विल ऑल बी सर्टिफाइड बट चारों गुड नहीं मिलेंगे. When you are
Mm-hmm.
a fresh master, the company normally ensures कि भाई the other three are good. As you gain experience, you will have only two good officers on the
Mm-hmm.
on the deck team, you and probably the second officer, and you have to look after the other two. Because
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's a chief mate who's being promoted or a third mate who's being promoted, and then you are on your toes. So, uh, and then, on every ship, you're getting that again and again and again and again. I was on dry ships, so कोई owners का metrics नहीं है. There's no requirement to maintain a certain experience level. So that started getting to me कि यार, okay, I can do this, but this is not my day-to-day work. So that's professional. Personal में I had family. My wife said कि भाई देखो, I missed all the milestones of my first daughter. We said कि okay, let's spend time together rather than me away for a long time.
Okay.
Uh, my wife is a captain's daughter.
Okay.
Probably in the a few decades ago, you could take children as young as 6 months onwards. There were no visa requirements,
Hmm.
and there were no restrictions by the companies. Nowadays, schools they would allow that. They would take books on board and they would study and continue with their studies on board and come back and give the exams. So, आजकल the world has changed. All these restrictions come in. Child not less than 2 years, school से issue, sailing visa, etc. So we said this is not there. So these are, yeah,
Oh,
though they all caught up together. Third, I had already done PG dip in marine insurance while I was sailing. So
okay.
just wanted to build up on that कि भाई followed my knowledge कि what happens next इसको I want to know more. So I came to UK for my LLM.
Okay. Okay. And in this journey, say post sea life and even in the current profession, science that you're pursuing, what do you remember as one of the toughest days at work or toughest few days at work?
I would say every day at sea is a tough day.
N-
Even if it is good weather,
No,
nothing
no,
of
not at sea, not at sea.
yeah.
Like the life after sea, in the current profession that you are in,
Yeah.
like, when you close your eyes and think, boss, kya din the wo? Like, thank God they are past me. So which are
Yeah.
those days for you?
No, for me it is sometimes it's the other way around. क्या दिन थे वो, can I go back? So,
Okay.
there was I attended a course in Anglo-Eastern Maritime Training Center in Mumbai. So तब Mrs. Rewari was there. It was something to do with psychology or something. तो वहाँ पे शी आस्क्ड कि भाई आप शिप पे जाते हो, आप अपना माइंड चेंज करते हो, यू चेंज फ्रॉम वर्क मोड, फैमिली मोड टू वर्क मोड. एवरीवन, द होल क्लास नॉटेड यस. और कहते हैं, जब साइन ऑफ करके आते हो तो आप यही यू यू स्विच बैक ऑफ फ्रॉम वर्क मोड टू होम मोड. वी सेड यस. कहते हो मुश्किल है? शी सेड यस. वी ऑल सेड यस. एंड देन शी ड्रॉप द बॉम्ब. कहते हैं, जो लोग शोर में काम करते हैं, स्पेशली वर्किंग वाइफ्स, दे डू दैट एवरी डे. सुबह होम टू वर्क, शाम को वर्क टू होम. एंड मैरीटाइम लॉ ये फील्ड ऐसा है कि शिप पे इंसिडेंट्स आर अकरिंग 24/7, 365 days a year. वो आपसे
Hmm.
पूछ के नहीं आएंगे.
Hmm.
तो
Hmm.
यहाँ पे द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज इज प्रोबेबली is that it's not 9 to 5, at least for
Hmm.
wet shipping.
Hmm.
It's so you are on your toes, and if you need to go or if I need to go, I travel at odd times. One particular attendance, I had booked something for the weekend. Friday, I was told, you go, you have to go. I said, yes, I'll be ready. And I left within 1 hour. So, so that I think is the biggest challenge, at least for a master mariner, especially those who are working in admiralty law. If you're
Okay.
working on dry shipping, that's still relatively less 9 to 5 work. They may not have that challenge.
So what does your typical day look like?
There's a calendar. आपकी कोई मीटिंग हो सकती है, कोई ट्रेनिंग हो सकती है. इफ नॉट, यू आर ऑलरेडी वर्किंग ऑन एग्जिस्टिंग फाइल्स. अभी समर्स हो जाते हैं तो देर आर सर्टन नेटवर्किंग इवेंट्स. यू वुड वांट टू बी देयर, यू वांट टू बी प्रेजेंट, यू वांट टू बी सीन, you also want to learn from others. So it's a mix of all this, and in between, if there is an incident, then everything gets thrown out of the window. All planning goes out. Then my out of office kicks in, and my email just says, I'm out for work. I'll be back probably in a week. And while traveling, then for that period of 1 week, if it's a meeting or something, then I try to reschedule it, or usually the senior person will take care of it while I'm out dealing with this, because you need to respond immediately on that.
Okay. Okay. And what are the metrics you are measured on? In the sense, there are certain KPIs, OKRs, and etc. So, what does the management look at when they look at your performance? What are the aspects you are graded on?
हाँ, तो लॉ में thankfully there is no aspect which is success. You can never guarantee that you will always win a case. So thankfully that is not there. The only metric is billing hours, because for them that means that you've worked and done. Uh, uh, you've put in your full effort for the firm. But me working uh, on admiralty law side most of the times, I can't predict when a incident will occur. If there is an incident, then I work hard. I'm not looking at the clock. But then that frenzy of work carries on for about a month or so till the incident has reached
Subdued.
a manageable level. The whole team has reached to that level, and my main input is over. And after that, it's back to routine communication only.
Okay.
So, and then for the next 2, 3 months, there's no incident. I'm not, I'm there, I'm present 9 to 5. I may be
Mm-hmm.
working on other matters, but I may not be getting billable work throughout the day. So,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
so if if the employer is good, they understand that, and my
Mm-hmm.
employers do that.
Okay. And what would be your, say, final advice to someone, say, a chief officer or a master who's on board right now? What advice would you give to them so that they can reach where you have reached today?
I would say whatever you are studying now, whatever you are learning on board, learn more. There are lot of other things. There is a very big library on board the vessel. There is a very big potential to learn from the vessel. Uh, as a chief officer, I would spend a lot of time with a chief engineer. I was given ships which required technical maintenance in liaison with the engineers. So I would talk to them not only about the repairs that was going on, but also other things that they were doing. So I learned more about engine and engine room at that time than what I learned in my competency courses. So whatever you are sailing, you learn it well. आपको think of it like this कि आपको आपका कैडेट कुछ पूछता है तो you should be able to answer it. आपको ये नहीं कहना चाहिए यार मैं I will look in the book and say. You should be able to say look in that book, look in that chapter. You will find an answer somewhere around there. That should be acceptable. So shipboard knowledge जो है उसको अपनी bring it up to the max you can. Complete your competency courses as soon as possible. Try to get command. You will have a phase after clearing your chief mate COC to getting command where you have time. Invest in your education at that time while sailing. Abhi ships are connected with
Mm-hmm.
internet.
And
You can invest in your education. ये सब करने के बाद that is the time when you come abroad for LLM. It teaches you or any other education that you want to pursue. You come there, you start applying because आपकी employment overseas से नहीं होएगी. The employer needs to see you. You need to interact. और दूसरा, at some times when you are studying with a cohort of 140, 150 students, it gives you a platform to interact with them. So today I have that network from my full-fledged LLM. Uh, so once you have all this ready, then you start applying. उसके बाद some things such as market conditions, visa conditions, and those things kick in which are outside your control, but you can't control it in anyhow. But they are a factor in your success. And
success.
yes,
Okay.
ये सारा कर करा के you keep on learning, you keep on working on skills that you never thought you wanted, but you required, but you still need them.
Mm-hmm.
जो भी हमने राइटिंग स्किल्स ऑन बोर्ड सीखे हैं, दोस आर वेरी बेसिक. आपको और ज़्यादा उसमें चाहिए. वर्ड में देर आर मोर फीचर्स, वी यूज देम अ लॉट. when we are drafting documents or something. पूरे document का एक अगर style change करना है, कुछ change करना है, we do all that. So start picking up those things, uh, and all of that together, makes feeds into your success. Some things, uh, as I said, uncontrollable, no problem. Some things controllable, work hard on them.
Excellent piece of advice. On this, are there also journals or anything that anybody who's interested or just wants to get a general flavor of this science can read and get a sense of? Any journals you would recommend or anything that's freely available online that anybody can?
Um, There are judgments on shipping law, both dry and wet uh, cases online available on a website called Bailey, Bailii. Uh, so these are British cases, and it's part of a very big organization whose purpose is to bring all common law judgments online for free.
Okay.
There is also a corresponding website for India. I think it's called INDLI, INDLII. So whatever country you're looking at, that country, LII. So there's
Okay.
Canadian, Australian, and from those judgments, the website is all a subset of something called World LII or World LII or World LI. So if you start from Bailey, you can go up, or if you start from World LI, you can go down into jurisdictions. I would say look at Commonwealth, ideally UK and India. If you're still interested, look at Singapore too, and try to see first of all, what's the format of the judgment, how are they presenting it, and what language they are using, what what was important, what was not. There's something someone, let's say a chief mate or a second mate, he may get bored on this, but uh, I would say at least for the deck officers, collision judgments, try to read them, try to see what they are saying and how they are saying that.
Okay. Okay. All
Uh,
right, Amar. I think I've asked my list of questions and beyond, which came from what you were telling me. Thanks a lot for your time. And frankly, I think I made enough notes, and I'm walking away more educated about law than maybe say 40 minutes back.
no, no, my pleasure, and thank you to C and Beyond for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences again. C and Beyond and we started our careers at the same time. So I came to UK, Gaurav started C and Beyond. Few years down the line, we collaborated again during COVID times. And now, again, after probably near the same time interval, we
Mm-hmm.
are here again at the start of the next phase. So no, thank you for this opportunity and all the best to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.